Hi all, so today I'm just going to show you how to make another type of flower on this Hana flower loom. This is the one I'm making. This edging is from a pattern that I'm doing, and I'll show you how to do that later. I'm just going to show you how to do the basic flower loom part here. But as you can see, you can edge them and turn them into squares, and they'd be great for multiple different projects, so do check back soon for tutorials on how to make shawls and tops and scarves and all sorts with these type of flowers. So for this one we're using the large square, and then we're actually using the small circle and the medium circle. If I can get them back in, will be great. Okay. There. That's right. So all we need is some yarn. I'm using some basic DK yarn, and obviously you'll need a pair of scissors and a needle to weave in the ends after, so not much needed. So to start with, because these little gaps here, they have little notches under here, you just want to poke your yarn down and through so that it can hook in there. I just tie a half knot just to hold it. It doesn't have to be too secure, it just gets wrapped around in that notch so that it doesn't move. My centre fell out. I use the centre to help make it easier lining all the pieces up. Some people don't, that's a personal preference, but I find it gives you a nice circle to weave into at the end. So all we're going to do, because of the way this is set up and you want the flower to pop up over the base, you're going to do the square base first, then the big ring, and then the small ring, and that allows the flower to pop up. So we're going to take this just up through. Should we try to come in a little closer? Okay, so we're just going to take it just past this one at the base that's closest to you, and up, around, through past this side here, look, and up. I'm going to go around that top one that's opposite and back down. But what we're going to do, this one we go back down to where we started, but this next one we're actually going to go up to this one here. So hook it around and up through the best, just find the best path through to go around that one. And then when we go around that one, we're going to go down to this side. So down to here. Try to find the best path through, but always try to keep one side of the loop this side and one side of the loop this side of your thing. That will help when it comes to wrapping. So you want it to go on that side so you can go around and up this side, then back around and that side. So we're just following down, and we're just going to keep going to this side and this side, and we'll eventually work all our way around, and making sure that one side of each loop is on here, because that just makes it better when sewing. You know that you catch all of the strands. So it doesn't matter if they cross in the same place on the pink, because they will be hidden underneath the flower anyway. You just want to make sure that they're always crossing around that as you go, so that when you sew you make sure you catch every single loop and none of them can come loose. So that one is obviously going down to this side, and then we're going up to here. So this is all we're going to do. We're just going to keep going down and around. Now you might find it easier to turn as you move, which is what I do normally, but I was informed by some other viewers that they prefer me not to turn it while showing you where we're going, so it's easier for them to follow. So It's a little more fiddly for me to do this without turning to work from the top each time, but hopefully it's showing you where the path for each one is going. Now I try to keep a reasonable tension, not too tight because you don't want to lift this up, but you want to keep the tension so that it stays in place as you manoeuvre them. So always try to hold your strand. And hoop it around and then pull it so it locks in place. If you hold it there, when you line it up through to your next one, and you can give it a little pull to hoop it around there. Look. That's just keeping them in place. You see it's just building up around the square and around the middle, just so that you can get your base down. Push them down if they start to rise, because you're going to need all that space by the time we've done these remaining 2 layers. Again, make sure even at this point that you're going either side of that square. You don't want to accidentally have both on the same side, because that when you're sewing that won't loop. So we've done that one and we're back down now to where we started. So that last one's led down through and straight down here. You want to go straight down, and we're going to move on to this middle ring now. So you can see, so make sure you push all these down, a really good push down so that you can really access that middle ring. And you're just going to hold your finger over the top of the one you're hooking around so it doesn't pop out. So you might have difficulty seeing that, but I'm just going to hold my finger over there so when I wrap around it doesn't come off the top. Just makes it easier for wrapping. So obviously we're starting on this one, so we're going to go to the opposite one on this side here. Just like we did before, we're going to then wrap around that one and down to the opposite one. And going down. Doesn't matter if you go this way or this way, as long as you always follow the same path you're going around. So it doesn't matter if you work this way round or this way round. Just make sure that once you start on that loop going that way, that you continue going that way. Follow the same rules. Each loop needs to be both sides. This will really help when coming to sew it all together. And keep a good tension. Push it down if you need to each time you go round, because obviously it does get higher as you go. As we're adding layers into it. That's what happens if you don't hold it in place, it pops off. So I need to rewrap that one around there. Take your time, make sure you're easing it around if needs be, so that it's not coming off. If you're not sure where you've been, because it starts getting a few too many, if you look at the side, you can always see where it's wrapped around and where it isn't wrapped around on the inside peg. You see, like we're here, but we haven't done one here. And that will help you see where you need to be going, okay? And if you wrap around in the direction that you're working your piece, so I wrap around that way because the next side I need to go is on this side, and on this side I wrap around that way because that side is going up to here. So it tells you which direction you're aiming for, because you don't need to cross over that way, you're always just going straight. Some people like to cross over, but I don't find it makes a difference, so I tend to do straight lines. Almost done on this one. Okay, so this is the last wrap around here for this one, because you can see we've already done all of these ones. There is a wrap around there, it's just there, see? So we're going to be working on this middle line. So this last one is going to go straight back up the middle to this first inside one. So just here, see, we're going to go up where we started and the first inside one's there. So that's where we're heading to. And then the same rules apply. Wrapping around, making sure you go both sides, and then going to the opposite side. Now, by this point it's getting quite thick, so give them a good push down as you do it so they don't pop up. There's not so many to do in the middle here, so it doesn't take quite as long. Let me know if you do prefer this non-twisting method instead of me turning as I go. It is a little more complicated for me, but if it's easier for you guys to see where I'm going, then I'm happy to continue doing it this way. Okay, so now this is the last one we're doing. So the middle one is a lot quicker. So what you want to do is check you got them all. See, this is the last one here, because all of these ones are done now. So this last one will take us back down to the middle so we can tie here. So just up and round, and just go down straight through the middle there to tie to this one. It doesn't matter that it's slightly offline, because once you sew this together no one's going to see that. Okay, so you want to cut your yarn, leave a good tail because you're going to want to be able to weave that in, and then unhook your other one. Keep your finger on it so that it doesn't disappear, and so that you've got your tension. And then you're just going to, it's hard to see with my fingers, but we're just tying a little half knot again but with these two pieces there, and we're just going to pull that too. Again, it's just to hold it on here, just pop and hold it on while we work to sew these together so that it doesn't come apart. So make sure you give it all a good push down. Grab a good length of yarn to sew this. I tend to over exaggerate how much we need because it's better to have too much than not enough. And I'm just going to thread your needle. Okay, so this is the trickiest part. What you want to do is take this middle bit out to be able to sew with. So you just want to gently ease up all of these loops just slightly, so it's just at an angle, so you can pop in and grab out that middle. That's how anchoring this down here helps keep it all in line, and then you just push them all back down, and what that's done is it's cleared up the space behind, and you see there's already a hole, which we're just going to go straight through that hole that this has created, and that means that you're now making sure you get every loop on the correct sides that we line them up on. So we're just going to pull through, leave a good amount again for weaving in at the end, and then just hold that out the way. Now the best way to sew this is to work with your little spikes. So start with the middle one and literally go down right next to that spike, down through. You can see a little gap is being formed just between them, and that's taking everything that went around that spike. So just going to give it a pull. Make sure it doesn't get looped around. If it does, just hook it off. Again, this is where I would normally tip it upside down when I pull, because that stops anything getting looped. So when I'm pulling, I'll tip it like that and nothing gets looped around then, because it just angles straight from the middle. But obviously I can't do that on camera because you won't be able to see. But that's just pulled that in there, if you can see. Then we're going to go back up through that circle again, through our little hole. Give it a good pull. And the next one I'm going to do is this outside one, because it's in between. We're going to work through here. So we're just going to take that, push from the spike, see we're going right down here, push down into that hole again. There are a lot of different ways to finish off one of these flowers, but I'm just showing you this basic one for now, and then I will do other videos showing you the different ways you can finish off. Okay, so again, up through that middle, and as we did the outside spike last, we're going to go to the inside one here. Don't worry about any of these ones, because we made sure we went around these spikes and around the centre each side. These are automatically being locked in by doing these ones. So as long as you do every single one of these, you'll automatically lock in every single one of these. So going into this one here, again, line up with the spike, push down through them all. Give it a good pull. And we're just going to repeat doing this all the way around. So if you've done an inside spike, go to the middle one and down. And this will make sure you lock every loop within the centre so that none of them can slide completely out. It will have some movement, that's just the nature of this type of device. But by doing this, you're making sure that if it got pulled, it can only be pulled to the centre, and then you can find the loop and re-pull it back out again. It can't come completely undone and unravel everything. Again, normally I would orientate this to closest to me as I'm working, but I will keep it orientated straight for you guys, or as straight as I can go, so that you can see it work around. You see it's already locked down. That last strand is now locked down because we're almost up to this point, and this strand going across here will be locked down when we get to the other side. And you can see the last one we went into there, so we're going to go here. It might not be as clear to see on camera, but when you're doing this you will be able to easily see where you've been, because these little rods, this little loop you're going across, pull and open a gap up so that these are just straight open, whereas here there's lots of lines crossing over. I don't know how I can see, but like this line here crossing over, once you've sewn it in, will be locked down like that, so it opens it up so you can usually see where it is you've been. So if you're not sure, just have a look. Though if you're still not sure, it never hurts to go in for a second time just to be safe. Okay, so now we're just doing the last one. You see this is open and this is open, we've just got this one here to do to lock it in place. And that is now all of them locked in. So what you're going to do is untie your little ones here. They're safe to move now, they're locked in. And we're just going to thread them through to the back side. Follow the path of least resistance, so that one looks better to go down here because of where it's positioned. So just take that on through. and then unhook this one and see where this one works best. And this one's better to go through these here. And that just means that they're tighter neatly on the other side. So now all we can do is just pop it off your tray and pull that out through. And then what you want to do is find the strand that you last went down with and the strand you started with. They should be next to each other. And just give a little knot at the bottom there, just so that they are in there nice and tight, snug and secure, so it's not going to come out now because they're all locked in place. Then you're just going to push up and pop them off one by one. And the last one off. And that's your little flower all made. So the underside should be nice and neat like this, and we're just going to weave in the ends around. So if you separate each one off so you can see where they best fit, and then grab one of them. You see this one's feeding up through here, so this is where we're going to want to start. Now I find holding the petals down out of the way makes it easier, and you're going to weave under sorry, the tightened loop that you used to tie everything off in the middle. So it's created a nice little secure area for you to weave into. So you're just going to weave around a few of them. Make sure you don't get any of your loops in it, because you don't want to tie off your loops. So hold it better than I did. There we go, so it's coming around. And then just loop over one of them so you can go back the other way. Doesn't matter if you split the yarn, it's actually better for you if you do split the yarn because it holds it in tighter. But we're just going to go back through. So when you've got that back through a few times, so you're just going to sniff off that, find your next one, and repeat the process. So see where it fits best, then go through. Make sure you loop over one near it so that when you go back it doesn't unravel on itself. I know this is probably reasonably hard for you to see, it's a small fiddly thing, but I'll give you a close up of what it looks like once you've woven your ends. Again, make sure you loop over to go backwards so that it's well and truly in there. It's quite a snug fit if you've pulled this tight, and that's what you want, because being snug will actually hold this in place. I'm going to just trim a little more off that so we've got a more usable piece to work with. Again, just find where it naturally wants to go in. Give it a pull. The more pieces you put in, the snugger this gets, but that just helps hold them in. Okay, then just give a little sort out. And there is your flower. This is the underside, so as you see, they're all, you might need to manoeuvre them to lay them out as you've poured them, but otherwise that's the underside, nice and neat, no ends sticking out anywhere. And that's the top. And as I said, in different colours they're really good. The type of yarn will affect how the flowers will stick out, but once you decide what edging you're doing around, it really makes the flower pop. So as you can see, once you've secured that, this flower is above and it will pop across. But yeah, you can make them square for doing a bunch of projects, or you can literally just secure with the corners and have the rest free and have a nice thing like that. There's all sorts of different ways you can finish these off to create the garments, and it depends on what you're creating. I mean, you could literally just sew a badge piece to the back of this and have that as a badge. It can be anything you want, so do check back and you will see some of the ways I finished them off to create different garments. Okay, so check back soon. Take care. Bye.